Hello, hello, you made it. Welcome. If you are here for the monthly Learning and Development Roundtable with me, Leanne Reagan, you're in the right place. And if you're like, what are you talking about? You're still in the right place. You ended up here. So welcome, welcome. We change up the topic every month, and this month actually was a request from a member, and it's on from generic to genius, leveraging AI to customize your learning. Now, if your blood pressure has just gone up because we're going to be talking about tech, just take a breath, take a beat, take a pause. I promise you it's going to be fun and simple. And I'm going to actually teach you a tool to help you decide where to focus on all of this. Welcome to other folks who've just come in. Hi, Malcolm. Hi, Lena. Jean-Pierre. Oh, Jean-Pierre's coming in. Hi, Jean-Pierre. So nice to have you here. And Malcolm. If you are here as a UN staff person and you want to count this towards your professional development, just make sure that your screen name matches your actual name. And also, if you've had that kind of day or week or year, the world is a very difficult place right now. Know that you can. I'm just going to put the instructions in the chat here. You can close caption our gathering in one of, I think, 35 languages. And we can have 35 different languages going on. It doesn't matter. You're the only person who'll see the language that you choose. So if you wish to do that, feel free. And let's jump in. We're going to talk about how do you use AI to enhance learning. I'm going to share 12 different tools to help you do just that. I'm going to share a simple bonus tool to help you. You know, you probably have had colleagues and friends say, oh, you got to try this tool, you got to try this one. But how do you really figure out which one is the best one for you? So I'm going to show you a simple tool for that. You don't have to be a UN staff here. Everyone and anyone is welcome. But if you are and you want to count this towards your professional development, there is an attendance link that I'll put at the end of the workshop today. And congratulations, as you registered, you became a Learning and Development Roundtable member, which means you get access to more than 13 years of Roundtable resources. So I'll show you how to do that in a bit. So, welcome if you are brave. Maybe you've never used AI before, let alone for learning. Your blood pressure is a little bit sketchy right now because you're feeling nervous. So congratulations, you're welcome. You're welcome here. You're being brave. Maybe you're curious. Maybe you've started to use AI, maybe use it quite a bit, but you haven't used it for learning yet. So welcome to you. And maybe you are bold. Maybe you could give a workshop on AI and learning, and you're just like, you just want to inhale and gobble it all up. So, however you come to be here with us, know that you're welcome. You are going to discover if you're a duck, a dolphin, a turtle, or an armadillo today. You're going to learn a super simple prompt like this. This is hopefully going to make you just go and like jazz hands, maybe even. You're going to be so excited because you're going to feel like a wizard. Uh, so I'll teach you that. And then how to use AI as a learning partner versus how most people use it, which is kind of a taskmaster. And if you catch the Beyonce reference there, we're going to put a ring on it. So you'll learn how to do that. Uh, I know that you've got lots of things on the go. The world is a mixed up place right now. So I really want this to be as helpful and as useful to you as possible. So I'm just going to encourage you to do some ocean time. If you find your attention is being pulled away, uh, I don't know if has anyone learned this ocean breathing technique? We're not going to get too woo-woo. Don't worry. But this idea here, actually, I'll put. if you want, I've just recently learned this technique and it's pretty cool. Now, I'm coming to you from New York. I live in France, but I'm from Vancouver. So the ocean is a big part of my life. And the idea here is when you're breathing out, you slightly narrow your throat and your mouth. So it actually sounds like an ocean. So if you want to take a pause, a beat to do that, again, if you find your attention being drawn away, just take a deep breath in and then let it out with your mouth slightly closed a little bit, and you'll be transported to the ocean. Okay, a couple more things before we dive in. I give lots of different kinds of workshops. I have been in the learning and development field for, I don't know, 40 years, long, long, long time. So I've just put a link to my catalog, my workshop catalog in the chat if you want that. And by the way, if your future self is watching this, all the links that I'm talking about are down below. Okay, a couple of other things. Please participate. You are a brilliant bunch. You do wildly wonderful, fabulous things. So please ask questions, share resources, comments, etc. You are so welcome here. And speaking of welcome, hello, Vish. Welcome. I'm delighted that you're here. Also, there is at the members' request, there's a LinkedIn and a Facebook group for the roundtable. So if you want to chat in between roundtables, feel free to join one or both of those. And also, it's my mission to change the way the world learns. So I love growing a culture of learning. And if you find the roundtable helpful, please share the membership link. I've put it in the chat there. Folks are always welcome to join our group. And also past members have said, Leanne, we love that we get all of these resources from you, but we want them faster. So you'll get a bunch of resources on Monday, including a workbook and a video, etc. But at the bottom of the next hour, you'll get the deck. So I send that to you right away. A couple of other really quick things. I'm giving, by popular demand, I'm giving a public speaking course. There's one for exclusively UN staff on May 20th and 21st. And then because people were contacting me saying, I'm not UN, but I want the course. There's one on April 23rd and 24th. So I'll put those links in the chat for how to get more information about both of those. And then I always like to encourage your future self. So it's one thing to sign up for a workshop, which is fantastic. It's a whole other thing to apply and remember and use that learning. So each month, I share a different tool. I kind of rotate them. And if you wish, you can use this heart tool. Once you download it, it becomes editable. So you have to download it first. Okay. Any questions at all before we get into the content? Or if you're ready to proceed, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, thanks, Caitlin. Okay, great. Okay, so I want to make this as practical and pragmatic as possible. So let us know in the chat this is all about using AI to help you learn. So what's something that you want to learn? Because I would love it if you actually, as we go through the tools, if you use the tools based on the topic that you're interested in. So what's a topic, a subject matter, something that you're wanting to learn? And then if you wish, you can apply the tools to that particular topic. Organization, Caitlin. Okay, do you mean like organizing the stuff around you? Like organizing your space? Do you mean like organizational development?
Excellent questions. I realize it's a very loaded word.
It's
Um,
good. It's good.
basically, organizing like the stuff around me. So, for example, I'm in a meeting, I'm taking notes. I would love to have an AI tool that like pulls all those actions and then its notes and like kind of organizes it for me into a to-do
Oof.
list.
Okay.
Like that's just an example, but something, and I
Yeah.
could use that in my personal life and professional life, but like basically, oh, I'm sitting here listening and now I want to like pull out all those things. And instead of me continually writing
Yeah.
to-do lists,
Yeah.
like how do I just like, I guess, take in all the information and then like synthesize it?
It's super doable. That is like that's a very actually low bar, like low hanging fruit for AI tools to do that. Anyone else? What's a subject matter? What's the one I'm going to be using? Now, don't go to sleep on me. This sounds very technical, but this is close to my heart, is pre-colonial education. So like traditional indigenous education. I'm super interested in that. And I'll show you how I'm using AI to learn about that. So anyone else, feel free to share. Um, Malcolm saying, are you able to set up a WhatsApp chat bot to handle queries, etc.? Oh, okay. We're going to talk a little bit about that, Malcolm. Yes. Okay. And Robin saying, understanding the limits of generative, oh, AI, creating the first draft templates, designs, but not the full version. Okay, nice. Uh, okay. So, um, and Nancy saying, can we set up something that can scan news and write a summary? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Oh, these are great. Okay, so think about, what is your kind of burning need? What is your topic? And then as we go through the tools, you can start applying those tools to your topic. By the way, in terms of organization, I pick an annual project every year, and for 2 years in a row, I got rid of three things every day for 2 years, and I wrote about that in my blog, so you can look that up. Actually, I'll just make a note and I'll put it in the resource. I'll put it in the resource workbook. Yeah, I learned so much about organizing stuff. It was fabulous. Okay, you'll see in just a second. You're going to see a poll pop up on your screen. Um, so this is anonymous. So feel free to fill this in. There are three multiple choice questions, and I just kind of want to get a sense of where you're at right now. So the first question is, how do you feel about AI right now? Like AI in general, not just AI specifically for learning. So I've drunk the Kool-Aid. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm nervous but curious. Someone hold my hand. Okay, so feel free to pick the one that fits you best. Number two, how often are you using AI right now in general? So it's basically your work, wife, husband, partner, a few times a week, no big deal. I've poked around at it, or AI who, what? And then number three, how often do you use AI specifically for your learning? So specifically for professional development. It's your personal tutor, therapist, and life coach. Does Googling count? Plot twist, you can do that. I didn't know that. Or I'm here, aren't I? Okay, these are great. I'll share the results with you in a sec. Oh, Alba's saying it's my new best friend. I know, right? Yeah, I'm hoping that my intention is to share some tools with you that are going to knock your socks off. Okay, most of you um, have done the poll. You cannot get this wrong. Wherever you're at is perfectly fine and lovely. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just grab the answers here. Just gonna do a screen grab, and I'll put this in the workbook as well. The workbook that you'll get uh, on Monday, and then I'll share the results with you. Okay, here you go. So here are the results. So give me a thumbs up if you can see the results. Okay, great. So the highest percentage is that you're cautiously optimistic when it comes to AI. The highest result for how often are you using AI is you've poked around at it. And then in terms of how often you're using AI specifically for learning, the highest, oh, there's a tie between does Googling count and I'm here, aren't I? Nice. Okay, so let's see if we can move you up that those sort of scales there. So, Okay, so let's dive in. So, a couple of things to introduce you to, and also some caveats. I have two kids who are 24, and my other son turned 29 just the other day. And they were all over this topic and had lots to say to me. So I wanted to kind of incorporate some of their thoughts. So one of the really important things here in terms of a caveat is know your agency rules. So I'm not sure what the latest is with the UN, for example, but at one point, just even a few months ago, UN staff were not to be using ChatGPT. That was not allowed. So make sure if you're with an agency, make sure that you've checked out what are their AI policies if they have them. They may not have them. Um, okay, and yeah, Natalia's saying co-pilot. Yes, yes. So, okay, and then the idea here is to really, take this serious. So when I was talking, I did a blog post a couple, I think a week ago or so, and I generated an image using an AI tool of a woman throwing a computer. And one of my kids saw it and was like, had so much disgust for this. Like, and my kids, and I'm curious if you maybe you are this age in your 20s, I would love, love, love to know if you feel the same way. They think so if they see an AI generated image, they immediately assume, rightly or wrongly, that that person's not serious. They don't know what they're talking about. They completely dismiss if they see an AI generated image. And my older son said, this is not just a generational wall, or sorry, it's it's not just a barrier between the generations, it's a cultural wall. So how we look at AI is very, very different across the agencies or the generations rather. My son shared a really interesting paper, um, which I'll just share in the chat here if you want to know more kind of about environmental aspects of AI. And also the difference between traditional AI and generative AI. So they're okay with traditional AI. So when you're using large language models like Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, etc., to analyze, to predict, to structure outputs, to say, hey, what is this thing? They're not okay with generative AI. So if you're creating an image, right, they think that takes away work from knowledge workers and creative people. My youngest son is a filmmaker. So I'm not saying one way or the other, but just something to think about, right? Because these have moral implications. So when we think about AI and learning, now that I kind of given you some of the downsides, why do we want to look at AI and learning? One of the biggest benefits is customization, right? You don't, it's available to you 24/7. And if you think about it, learning is putting yourself in a vulnerable position because it means that you don't know something, right? So you're admitting as an adult, hey, I don't know this thing, and that's kind of vulnerable. So with AI, you don't have to be as vulnerable. You can ask the silly question, right? And it won't judge you. They're programmed actually to be positive, right? To be quite positive with you. Let me know, has anyone ever not asked a question in a workshop or a conference or a meeting because you were like, oh, I should know this. Like, you were embarrassed to ask or you felt awkward. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever felt that way. And I would be surprised if like 100% of you, I think we've all been there at some point, right? If you want to learn more about like some really specifics around AI and learning, I cannot recommend this book highly enough. It's called Brave New Words, and it's by the founder of the Khan Academy. It's so, 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 so good. So I also wanted to play this little video clip here. If we think about being taken over by robots and, all of that kind of thing, maybe this will give you a little chuckle here. either look at that as like literally thinking outside the box, or we have a very long way to go. Okay, the bulk of our time I really want to spend on some very practical, pragmatic tools. But before we do that, I wanted to give you two filters to put everything through today. So, not every tool that I bring up today is going to be relevant for your particular situation, your learning level, your subject, etc. So, make sure that you're picking the things that really fit you. And one way to do that is what I call toe, dip, and dive. So I'm going to give you four toe tools. Now, what the heck do I mean by that? Toe tools, anything toe is just, you just want to dip your toe in, right? So they're based on your time and your energy. These are the easiest of the tools, right? They're not going to, hi, Sandra. Oh, it's so nice to see you. Welcome. They're not going to take a lot of time. It's not going to take a lot of brain power. You don't have to devote hours and hours and hours, right? So super simple. So I'll share four toe tools. Maybe you have a bit more time, you have a bit more energy, so you want to dip, you want to go in up to your waist. So I'll share four tools that I've categorized as dip tools. So they take a bit more time and a bit more energy, and they're more powerful. They can do more things. Okay. But you get to choose based on your time, your energy, you can choose. And then, pardon me, I'll share four dive tools. These ones, like, you're like, bring it on. You've got more time, you've got more energy. And so these tools are the hardest ones. They're still not very hard. I've not shared anything that's, requires a PhD in quantum mechanics, or I don't even know if that relates, but you know what I mean. So make sure that you're putting, because I don't want you to come away from here thinking, oh, I'm so behind. Like there's no behind. You're at where you're at. So put everything through the filter of toe, dip, and dive, and then put them through the filter of the armadillo, duck, dolphin, and turtle. So for those of you who RSVP at least a day ahead of time, you get the agenda ahead of time, and there's a link to a survey in there. And this will tell you what your tech personality is. So this will the toe dip and dive is based on your time and your energy. The duck, armadillo, dolphin, and duck. Oh, sorry, I just realized I put a duck twice there. That's based on, it's the fancy term for it is the trans theoretical model of change, but that's kind of a mouthful, right? So you can go back if you haven't. Or did anyone do the survey? Let me know in the chat if anyone did it ahead, and if you're willing to share, you can put it in the chat. Okay, Caitlin said somewhere between a turtle and an armadillo. Nice. Okay, and Natalia did it too. Great, great. So, you know, stay in your comfort zone, push yourself a little bit, right? Like challenge yourself, but don't walk away from here thinking, oh, I've got to do everything now and I'm so behind and da 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 da. Like, we don't want that blood pressure going up. Okay, so any questions on the filters before we dive into the tools? And if you're ready to dive into the toe dip and dive, we'll do four tools for each. Give me a thumbs up and I'll know that you're ready to go ahead. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. Okay. By the way, I know I share lots of information in the chat. Those will all be in the workbook as well. So don't feel like, oh, I missed that thing, or what was that link, or everything will be in the workbook as well. Okay, so the first toe. So these are the easiest ones, right? You just want to dip your toe in. Um, Alba's saying can't find the test. You know what? Normally I put the link in my speaker notes, but I forgot to do that. So if anyone has their agenda handy and wants to copy it into the chat, feel free to do that. Otherwise, it will for sure be in your workbook. She says making a note to make sure that absolutely happens. You're so welcome, Alpha. Okay, so one of the easiest things is to literally look underneath your nose, right? So, what are the tools that you're already using that have an AI feature, a feature that you haven't maybe even known is there? So, that Zoom feature where you can put the closed captioning on and pick one of 35 languages, that's right under your nose. If you're a Zoom, and I know UN staff use Teams, and I don't think it's a feature yet in Teams. Um, but that's right under your nose, right? You don't have to learn a new tool. It's right there. Oh, thank you, Caitlin. Thank you for sharing that link. For me, I have an Apple Watch, and a friend of mine was talking about her husband who uses Apple Fitness. And I've had this watch for, I don't know, a decade, like a really long time. I discovered this whole cool Apple Fitness thing. Like you can choose between yoga and kickboxing and Pilates and all of these different things. And you can choose your music, you can choose your instructor. My watch talks to my phone, it measures my heart rate. Like it's amazing. And it was right under my nose. One of you mentioned about tran I think it was you, Caitlin, about summarizing meetings. So with Gemini and Copilot and Zoom, if you turn those features on, it will summarize your meetings. It will give you the action items. It's all right under your nose, right? Um, Also, one of the things I use chat the most for is for tech help. So over the years, and I'm embarrassed to say that that it took me this long to do this, but in my contacts, I would not just have duplicate contacts. I would have sometimes triplicate and quadruplet, is that a word? And some of my contacts would show on my laptop, and some of them would only show on my phone. Like it would drive me bonkers. So I sat down, it took me maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes with chat. And I said, I work on a Mac. This is my phone, da 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 da. The contacts are duplicating. Oh, sweet, sweet peace, serenity, ease. I just, to this day, when I look at my contacts, I just get this like, oh, right. Right. So it was right under my nose, right? That chat feature. Use my mom goes back and forth between Canada and the US, and she brings her Alexa with her. And she asked me one time, she had just gone down to the States and she was having it difficulty getting it set up. And she said, "Can you help me?" And I took a deep breath, and my internal monologue was something like, "Oh, I can help you, but this is going to take hours." Like, and we're not in the same physical location. And my mother, bless her, is not technologically very astute, let's just say. And I thought, well, Mom, there's this thing called Chat GPT. Like, if you give me 10 minutes, I can teach you very, very basic, and let's get chat to help you. So I picked something that would motivate her because she doesn't want to learn any new tools. That's not she's not interested in that. But her need was greater, like to get this thing working. And it worked. And now every time she goes back and forth, she asks Alexa to help her how to get it, or sorry, chat, how to set it all up. So anything that you can think of, oh, Alba's saying she's a duck. That's great. Um, that could be right under your nose. Like there's AI built into PowerPoint now for images. You don't have to even leave PowerPoint. It's right under your nose. Can you think of a tool that you'd like to explore, whether it's Zoom or PowerPoint, or that you think, oh, I wonder, I should see if there's an AI feature in this tool I'm already using. Canva. Canva has AI built in now. That's our first one. I'll watch the chat to see if you have any examples. But in the meantime, we'll go on to the second one is Google Alerts, right? So Alba's saying PowerPoint maybe could help for presentations. Yes. Yes, there are some very, very cool AI features in PowerPoint. So you don't even have to leave the platform. The easiest one is to use it for finding images. Um, Okay, so Google Alert, right? So tapping into something that you want to learn about and using a Google Alert. And then you can piggyback. So you can use two tools at the same time. So for example, say a Google Alert. So a Google Alert is like an old-fashioned press secretary. Like it will give you uh, whatever you're looking for. It will send it to your inbox as many times as you want. Does anyone have a Google Alert set up? At a minimum, you want to have it set for your name, right? Now, let's just pretend that Sandra Schumacher is a super, super, super popular name, like David Jones. Like if you happen to have a super popular name with it, like a famous person, and maybe that person runs a coffee shop, you can put minus, you put your name and then minus coffee, and then it won't give you those results. Oh, hi, Padma saying Canva. Yes, super. Yeah, they have some amazing AI tools in there. Um, okay, and then another way that you can piggyback, and I'll just pop this in the chat, is you can find something, for example, with a Google Alert, and then use a tool like Speechify to turn it into, for example, an audio document or something like that, right? So you get it in the way that works for you, right? Um, would you like to see an example of a Google Alert, or are you okay? Let me know in the chat. I've got one queued up in my thing, but let me know if you want to see one. Otherwise, I'll keep going. I'd love to see. Okay, hi Yuko and Vish. Hi Vish. Okay, let me just switch over then. Okay, so and by the way, all of these links again will be in your workbook when you get that on Monday-ish. Monday-ish. I'm traveling. Okay, so this is a Google alert. So you can see what mine are, right? So I'm tracking my name. I'm tracking artificial intelligence plus productivity. I get so many hits on this. And then pre-colonial Indigenous education. So you can tell it, once you set it up, it'll give you examples of the results. And if you don't like what you're seeing, you can change what you're asking for. You can tell it how often you want it to appear. You can tell it, oh, I only want things from blogs. I only want videos. I only want stuff related to finance, right? You can tell it what language you want, what region of the world, only the best results or everything. And anytime I change these, the preview will change. So it will give you examples of what it's going to send you, right? Um, Let me just take us back to the deck and let me know in the chat any questions on that. That's a fairly simple thing to set up. And let me just get us back to the deck. There we go. Um, And at a minimum, you probably want to have your name in there, right? And maybe if you have a company and agency, if that's being mentioned online, you want to hear that. For example, many years ago, we used to, under Rock, Paper, Scissors, run a Humor in the Workplace Awards program. Super fun, super engaging. And we would have nominations of how people strategically used humor in the workplace. It was my favorite time of the year. And then we'd put on this big award show. Well, one day, so I had a Google alert for humor in the workplace. So one day I get this Google alert, and I'm reading it. So it'll give you links, and then you just click on the link and you'll see the whole article. So I'm reading it. I'm like, this sounds familiar. This is really, oh my goodness. It was a company in New Zealand who had stolen our entire program. And the only thing they changed was where it said Leanne Reagan and the other woman, Diana Francis, they had taken our names out and put their names in. Like, I never, ever, ever would have found that without a Google alert. Okay. Oh, just so I think someone's let me just erase that there. Mm. Okay. Okay, so we've got we're on the toe. By the way, hi Moira, so nice to have you here. We're looking at four tools under your toes, so things that are really, really simple, not going to take a lot of time. We've got things that are under your nose, right? Tools you're already using, and seeing if they have an AI function in them. Then using Google Alerts, and then piggybacking those with another tool. And then Goblin. Has anyone used, oh, sorry, has anybody used Goblin? Um, this was originally designed, I'll show it to you. It is so much fun. Hang on here, let me go back. I wish it was faster to share the screens here. Just takes an extra second. Um, So this tool was originally designed for people who are neurodiverse. So super cool. Um, okay, just give me a thumbs up if you can see it on the screen. Okay. And you can use this. Let me just grab I'm just going to grab the URL and I'll put it in the chat. Again, all of these will be in your workbook. So you can use this in many different ways. So the magic to do is you just put all your to-do items in there. Like say you want to I don't know, climb Mount Everest. Am I going to spell that right? I don't know. That's probably wrong. It will break it down for you. Um, you can use it to formalize things. So maybe you have some text and you want it to sound more professional, more accessible, more polite. I don't know why you'd want to sound angrier, but you could. It will convert it for you. You can ask it. So sometimes neurodiverse people have a hard time judging tones of things. So you can enter someone's email in there and then suggest a response, and it will tell you the tone of that document. You've got the professor in here. So if you want to learn something about, organization of meeting notes, something like that, it will explain it to you, right? And you can also change, I think this is the difficulty, like how basic you need it to be or not. You've got a consultant, so it'll tell you the pros and cons, an estimator. So if I want to climb Mount Everest, like how long is that going to take, right? And then the compiler, right? So you can put all your to-dos in there and it will put it all together for you. Okay, let's go back to the deck. Um, Comments, questions, is that making sense? Do you have like anything that's niggling at you that like, I don't get this thing. What is this thing, Leanne? Okay, you can see there's a thing in the chat. Caitlin saying, perhaps I'm the only one, but does it worry anyone else that by using these small AI tools that a lot more of your personal information, then you want can be shared? Oh, that's such a good comment, Caitlin. Thank you. And you are not the only one. Um, if you, with the large language models, like I'm pretty sure with Chat and Claude, I don't know Copilot, to be honest, if it has this feature, but you can turn off the feature where it's using your data, right? So, but absolutely, right? You don't want to upload, for example, your entire organization's, I'm just going to make a ridiculous example to make a point, but all of their health insurance data, right? Like, yeah, this is when you're putting stuff into large language models like Chat and Copilot, et cetera, uh, Gemini, DeepSeek, um, do think about how private that is. And if it's something sensitive, then maybe don't put it in there. Yeah, great comment. Thank you. Okay, the fourth tool under toe is Untold. Oh my goodness. Has anyone heard of Untold? It is one of my, every time I use it, I still get shocked and amazed. So, one of the most and I don't know what this says about humankind right now, but one of the most popular uses of large language models, when I say large language models, LLMs, I mean chat and DeepSeek and Copilot, things like that, Claude. One of the most popular uses for them is for counseling. So Untold is an app that it uses Whisper to do voice to text. You can type if you want or do voice to text. Its voice to text is excellent. And then it will prompt you with questions, and you can choose a response. You can say, I want a cognitive behavioral response. I want a Taoist response. I want a Christian response. I want a poem. I want an affirmation. Like it is remarkable, and it will remember what you said before and knit things together. It is sublime. I've learned so much using it. The only thing about Untold is it's free right now. It has been free. It's not, the app isn't that old. It's like a year or two maybe, but they're going to start charging, I think May 1st or something. So if you do want to use it, dive in right away because right now everything's free. Everything's free. Okay, so of those four tools, which one do you want to are you most wanting to try? So of those four tools, look for something that's right under your nose. Try the Google Alerts, try Goblin or Untold. Which one is like, oof, that one's speaking to me? Goblin, okay, says Padmerse. Nice. Untold, says Elizabeth. Untold, says Vish. Caitlin saying perhaps Goblin as it seems least invasive. Yes, yeah. Natalia, I love how yeah, like you want to stay in the driver's seat, right? And use these in a way that feels comfortable. You want to stretch yourself, but you want to stay true to your ethics. Yeah. Natalia's saying alerts. Alva's saying untold. Same with Moira. The nose. Nice, Robin. Okay. Florence also untold. Moira. Yeah. Okay. Great. Malcolm's saying untold, but I'm not telling. Yeah. So again, for untold, go there like after the workshop. You want to get there fast because they are going to start charging soon. Okay, before we're going to take a quick pause just to make sure that everything's sinking in. But before we do that, I do want to show you one bonus. Now, I'm hoping this isn't going to make you sick to your stomach. And I'm curious, like some of you might go, oh, you might get a little like nauseous. So we'll see if this helps some of you and if not others. So I'm just going to show you something here. So this is a quick little bonus. And let me just pull it up here. Come on, you. Oh, hang on, folks. She says as she's trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Um, so one of the things like I love, love, love technology. But even as someone who really, really loves it, you can get overwhelmed very, very quickly. So it's important to figure out a way to oops, to organize all of your, hang on here, sorry guys. I'm still not where I want to be. Sorry, I might be making you sick without even an, okay. So does anybody use a tab organizer? Does anybody use a tab organizer? So I don't know about you. I'll just put this in the chat. And you may not know what that is, which I'll explain in just a second. So I don't know about you, but when I try very hard to have zero inbox, but I'll come across an email and I'm like, oh, I want to read that later. Oh, I don't want to let that go. So what I've done, let me annotate the screen so you can see it here. Okay, so if can you see this little, this is like a tab organizer. So on your browser, whatever browser you're using, it will Robin saying solidarity. Robin, what are you in solidarity with? The tab organizer or feeling overwhelmed? I'm curious. And Alba, you're saying yes. Are you saying, oh, zero? Oh, zero emails. Yes, yes. It's a hard one, but I have blog posts on that if anyone is interested. Yeah, it's good for my mental health. Anyway, okay, so I do have this tab organizer. So when I see an email that has something to do with learning, I'll put it in. Now, this is the part that might make you sick, right? So I just opened it and then all these things pop up, right? So I'm going to come back to this, but this is by Alex Samuel. She's just a genius. And I knew I wanted to come back to it, but I didn't want to lose it. So I just throw that URL into my tab organizer. Oops. Right. So it's sitting inside of this thing here, right? So it doesn't seem so overwhelming. It's just really, really easy for me to throw it in there. Caitlin's saying, same, I can't have any notifications that aren't unread. Vish is saying, I need AI to help me with that. Vish, do you mean the tab organizer? Because that's an excellent use of chat. I use chat so much to help me with tech. It's like, I don't understand this thing. I'm trying to do this thing with tech, and it will walk me through each step. Okay, so some of you might go, okay, there's no way I'm ever going to use that tool because that's way too many tabs. Um, so let me know in the chat. Did that make you a little nauseous, or are you okay seeing all those tabs? I know people have strong reactions to that. Um, okay, so Elizabeth's saying, okay, okay, good. Okay, so the thing here is to find ways to manage all of this information that's coming at us, right? Okay, the second one is I have a prompt tip sheet. So when you put a question into a large language model, we call it a prompt, and I'll share a worksheet with you that gives you some. It'll be in the workbook to help you with those prompts. Okay, I was saying, okay, I'll treat one at a time, possibly. Like, okay, and Sandra saying yes to tab organization. Yeah, I love when I discovered that. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so let's just take a little breath, a little pause. You might want to do one of the little ocean breaths, the exhalation. Really, if you weren't on the call at the top, the right at the beginning, if you um, slightly squeeze your throat and your mouth shut and you exhale, it sounds like the ocean. So any comments, questions? How are you doing? I just want to take a pause. And as you're thinking about that, Robin, whatever happened to bookmarks and folders? Oh, Robin, that is such a good segue. You're going too fast. Hang on. Oh, Mike, you know what? Actually, it's the next slide. I'm going to talk about bookmarking. Maybe not in a way that you're expecting, though. Yeah, and some people live 100% in the, I want to touch it like paper calendar world, and some people are 100% digital, and some people are both. Like I have a little, notebook here that, as much as I love tech, I'm not 100% digital. So you find the balance that works for you. And try stuff, right? Like we're never going to learn and grow if we don't try stuff. So you do want to try some new tools, but Malcolm saying, I'm really enjoying what you're providing. Great info, wonderfully delivered. Thanks, Malcolm. So nice to have you here. Thank you. Okay. Speaking of learning and growing, I am serious about my, um, oh, whoops. Sorry, I'm just seeing a DM here. Uh, Someone's asking me. So if someone DMs me, I won't say your name, about the public speaking workshop. Yes, it is the 23rd and 24th of April. Uh, so let me just find that link. So there's two coming up. There is one for anyone. can go on the 23rd and the 24th. And to find out more information, you can go there. And then there's one on this on May 20th and 21st. That one is for that one is, oh, sorry, whoops. That's for UN staff only. So, okay, I think I put them both there. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back to here and just make sure I've got any questions, comments. Oh, oops. Sorry. Um, I've been putting them in a DM, not in the one to everyone. There we go. Okay, so everyone should have both of those links now. Also, I'm very serious. My life's mission is all about changing the way the world learns. So please, 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 if you find value in the roundtable, please share it with other folks. I love, love, love to grow our community, and anyone and everyone is welcome here. The next roundtable is on May the 21st, and it's about how to actually increase your resilience, your grit, and your ability to manage change. And also, last year, I achieved a lifelong, well, I don't know about lifelong, but pretty close goal of launching my Transformative Trainers Academy. So if you are a change maker who has content that is near and dear to your heart and you've been tasked to teach, to design a workshop or something like that, you may want to check out our global online community. Moira's here in the workshop. She's one of our members. Oh, thank you. Oh, me get a little teary. Thank you, Moira. It's an amazing group of that we brought together. So you can check that out if that's interesting for you. If you want to learn, it's basically about how to learn to design and deliver really cool, engaging, inclusive, sticky content. Okay, are you ready? So we've done the toe, right? Some super simple. You just want to dip your toe in. Are you ready for the dip? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready for 4 more tools under dip. Okay, great. And I can't, sorry, who was it who talked about bookmarks? That was just so like, I'll pay you later. That was almost freaky. It was so, uh, Robin. Okay, so there is a tool, there's many tools that are called social bookmarking. So one of the things about bookmarking something, so you can bookmark something in a book, like a physical book. You can bookmark something on your e-reader. You can bookmark something on your browser. But the problem, and maybe this isn't a problem of yours, but if it is, the problem is that you can't easily share those bookmarks. Right? You can't easily share them. So that's where social bookmarking tools come in. So I'm going to bring you over to uh, just give me 2 seconds here. Sorry, folks. So there's a tool. So there's many different tools that are social bookmarking tools. The one that I use is called Digo. So give me a thumbs up if you can see it on my screen. Okay, great. So we're going to have a little contest here. So first of all, I'll explain what it is. That's not really a contest. There's no prize except feeling good. Uh, but let's see. So okay, so this is Digo. Oh, come on. It's just struggling to load here. Not now. Don't struggle to load now. I need you, Digo. Okay, let me just explain it as it's loading, or maybe I'll just try to reload it. There we go. Okay, so with a social bookmarking tool, if I see something online that I really like, I can bookmark it. that means that it will be automatically into my Digo account. And then I can add these tags, right? So then I can look for things that are tagged artificial intelligence and learning, right? So you can tag things. So it makes it much easier to share and to learn. So if you come into my account, so this is where the little, I don't know, exercise is. So I'm going to give you my account and go into my account. And if you click on tags, these are all, you can see I've used this for years and years and years, right? So go in and find something based on a tag, right? And then put that in the chat. Okay, so let me say that again. So you can look at my tags, all my tags, and let's say you're interested in uh, say artificial intelligence, then all of these things will come up that I've tagged artificial intelligence. And then you can click on this, and then you would take that link and put it in the chat. And along with the tag, so the tag was artificial intelligence. I'm just going to shorten it and put the link to the article. So just play around with it. I'll give you a minute. And if you have any questions, let me know. And then I'll let you know the other really cool way you can use this tool. So I've given you the link to my Digo account. So you can go in and oops, and look at all my tags and then just share one, just as a way of kind of learning how to use this tool. And if you're like Leanne, you might as well be speaking Greek. I don't know what you're talking about. Just feel free to ask a question or DM me. Speaking of which, I can see there's a DM there. Hey, nice. Good job. Good job, Vish. Okay, so Vish found trauma-informed training explained why it matters. Great. And notice how easy it is to share that, right? The person who DM'd me, there's different prices for both of the courses. So you can, oh, and then Jamoke is saying it appears, yeah, so it might, depending on your browser, it might look a little bit different, but the concept is the same. Oh, thanks, Fish. She's saying she likes my blogs. Okay, so you can come into someone else's account, like I've invited you to do. You can also create your own account. So that's a little harder. So we'll leave that for a second. But the really cool thing. So I just clicked on artificial intelligence and learning. So it makes that into a its own URL. So I'm sharing that in the chat. So I just copied the URL. So first of all, I clicked the let's do tech tools this time. So when I click tech tools, it's showing 328 URLs. And you see that the URL for this search query has changed. So I can just share that whole URL with me, or with you rather, and then you'll see all of those links. And if I add 10 more in five, like tonight or something, you'll automatically see those, right? So it updates automatically. And also, you can also control the privacy. So there's some things that I've saved that are private that you would not be able to see coming into my account. Okay, let's go back to the deck. Comments, questions. How is that landing for you? Does that make sense? Um, what's going on here? Okay. So this is a great, yeah. So Caitlin, definitely useful if you're doing research. Yeah, if you're on a team, right? And you're trying to learn something. And you can also you can really get as granular as you want. So if you're learning about organization and meetings, you can tag it organization and meeting or organization and home organize, and then you can put those tags together and get very, very specific. And every roundtable that I do has its own Digo URL. So I just shared the one for this one, the AI and learning. So you'll get all of those, right? So it's just a super easy way for me to be of service to you, right? It doesn't take any time, just quickly tag stuff, and then I can share it with you. Okay, the next one is Headway. Um, Headway is actually, let's just go back. How many of you wish that you had more time to read? Whatever you want to read. Does that Caitlin's putting her hand up. Vicious saying me, yeah. Yeah, so there's different ways to use AI to help you. Yeah, Padre is saying every day, right? So one of the tools that you can use is Headway, right? Headway is amazing. Has anyone used this app? So here is the link to it. So basically, you can search for a topic or search for a book, and you can listen or you can read a summary of that book. The design, the user experience, the design of it, oh, and and pardon me, I actually don't have this information updated. They used to have a free version. I don't know if there's still a free version, but it's not expensive. It's not an expensive app. Yeah, Robin, it's really amazing. It's really fun, and the layout is so good. And if you'd rather listen to the summary, you can do that. If you want to read the summary, you can do that. And they really break it down. So a little bit more time, but still, super easy. Okay, and then I kind of alluded to this before, is really thinking about how do you want to ingest your learning, right? So there's a couple of different tools. I'll just put this into the chat here. So you want to yield to your style. So my father-in-law, just he reads copiously, and he's 80, I should know this, 84. It's around 84, working full time, super like social change maker, just like into everything. And he wants to consume information by listening to it. So we've worked with him to find some tools that will read a document to him, right? So you can use a tool like Illuminate, and it will make that into an audio discussion with you. You can use a tool like Readwise to help you collect your notes. So one of the things is if you're taking notes on something is how to organize those notes. Um, so that's a fabulous, like if you get in front of things and you're the one that's driving that car or riding that bike, right? You're the one that's in control. Really think about, okay, do I want to read it? Do I want it, do I want an audio? How can I, oh, and actually another easy way to do this is most podcasts have a transcription now. You used to have to go online and Google the episode, but most podcasts, if you go down far enough when you're reading or listening to a podcast, you'll see the transcription. Copy it and put it into a tool that helps you summarize it, and then you can actually interact with it in different ways, which is one of my all-time favorite tools. Are you ready for it? Drum roll. Has anybody used Notebook LM? Has anybody used Notebook LM? So Maura's used it. Robin, I love that. Not yet. Yes, it is just, so Malcolm's just dipped toes into it. Okay, so this is the difference between this tool. By the way, this is by Google, and it's free. I'll put the URL in the chat. The difference between this one, do you remember I made the Beyonce reference about putting a ring on it? So let me, I'm going to share another URL just while we're at it. I'll explain this in a second. Let me show it to you. So I've got mine queued up. It just takes learning to a whole other, like if it doesn't make your mouth drop when you're using this, I would be very surprised. Okay, so can you see let me know if you can see my notebook. Okay, great. So the different thing, now this is on pre-colonial education, which I understand is not everyone's cup of tea, right? But I'm just showing you my example. So it's not important, the content. I just want to show you how it works. The huge difference with Notebook is that you put a ring around it. You put a fence around it. So you tell it what sources. So these are all the sources I've told it to look at, and then it will only interact with those sources, right? So that's the ring around it. That's the fence around it. And then what you can do is it will take all of this content, and then you have a conversation, right? You can ask it questions. Summarize the last three resources. Ask me any clarifying question. You can get an audio. Actually, hang on. Let me just turn my. I'm just turning my highlighter on. So you can get an audio overview. You can start to make a slide deck out of it. You can get a video overview. You can make a mind map. You can do reports, flashcards. It'll make you a quiz, an infographic, tables. Like it is extraordinary. It's so much fun. And all you do is you just click add sources, right? So you tell it and you can give it files, you can give it websites, you can give it, now this is a Google tool, so you can give it access to your drive, but you don't have to do that. You can just plunk in text, whatever you want, right? I think there's a comment there. Let me just take a quick look. Vicious saying, wow, yeah, I know. It's so much fun. Moira saying, I made a slide deck and it was unbelievable what it created. Nice. Oh, I gotta try that. That is the most timely task on in the roundtable is making my decks. Um, yeah, and I also shared with you this Grab It. Now this is an add-on for Chrome. So if you are not a Chrome user, you would need to find an equivalent for your browser. I can see some of you might be going, ah, what are you talking? You're getting complicated, Leanne. It's 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 not super complicated. You just have to find the tool that works for your browser. But what's really cool about Grab It is you can go onto, for example, YouTube. So this is what I did for the last I added a ton of where are they? I added a ton of videos all at the same time. I did not have to copy each URL. Once I installed Grab It, I just literally grabbed it with my mouse and put it into here, and then boom, 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 boom. All the videos were uploaded. And if you're like, that sounds a little complicated, then don't use it, right? If like this is only if you're really going to take a deeper dive into Notebook. So remember, you use the tools that meet a need of yours, right? You want to always make sure that it's meeting a need of yours. You're in the driver's seat. Okay, back to our deck here. Okay, comments, questions. So we've done four dip tools. We've done the social bookmarking, where you go into someone else's account and noodle around. Headway, that's the tool where you can read or listen to books, summaries. Three, your content your way, using different tools to get that content delivered to you in a way that works for you. And then, ta-da, Notebook. Like, oh, it's so sweet. Notebook. I'd love to know of those four tools, which one are you wanting to try most? Which one are you like, oh, I could see myself? And if it's none, if it's like, no, Leanne, you have surpassed my starting to get a little too hard. Okay, notebook. Good. By the way, I don't get any money from Notebook. I feel like I was like kind of evangelizing there. More saying I want to use Notebook more. Also Headway. Yeah. Oh, great. Just downloaded the app. Nice. Yeah. Let us know, like, if you join the LinkedIn group or the Facebook group, let us know, like, what are you using the Notebook for? Yeah. Moira, I'm super keen. I have not used it for a deck, so I'm itching to try that. Okay. So, are you ready for the last one? So, the last four tools under Dive. Are we good to go ahead? So, these will take a little bit more time, a little bit more energy, but sort of bigger payback. Okay, great. Okay, so this one is familiar to you, is social bookmarking, but make your own account. So you don't have to go into someone else's account, right? So you can make your own Digo account. It doesn't have to be Digo. There's lots of different social bookmarking accounts. But the content that you love, that you don't want to forget, like I use Digo, I would say easily daily. Like I'm tagging stuff, or I'm like, okay, for the roundtable, I want to show that video. Um, so I'll use it to tag stuff, but I'll also use it to find stuff, right? Okay. Then another one. Now this is a little harder, and to be honest, I've only done this once. I want to get better at this. Is you make a custom GPT, right? So it's like a personalized chat GPT. Like, so you make it behave the way you want it to behave. And so for example, you can get it to go out and find the top 10 themes in learning and development this week, make a bulleted list, find the highest SEO ratings for each of those topics. Like you can do multi steps, right? And you train it to do this. Um, it's so to make an analogy, so regular chat GPT is like a generalist, right? It's quite general. A custom GPT is the same, except it knows you, like it's based on your specific needs, right? You could use it to be a learning coach, right? That focuses on your professional development goals. You could use it as a workshop assistant that knows your exact content and answers participants' questions. You could use it as a writing editor, as a UN policy explainer that simplifies complex documents, right? There's the sky is the limit for custom GPTs. um, Okay. And then another, this isn't so much a tool, but getting really getting good with your prompts, right? So we know that if you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out, right? So what you get from Copilot, from DeepSeek, from Chat, whatever one you're using, Claude, etc., is only as good as your prompt. Your prompt affects everything. And we really suck. We're really bad at asking questions. So let me know in the chat. The average 2 to 5 year old asks how many questions per hour, and kids that are in elementary school, how many questions per hour do you think they ask? So, by the way, I found this on a funny video in Facebook. Then I tagged it artificial intelligence and learning. So if you go to that Digo tag, you'll see the original video. Love it. So that's a great answer. Tons and fewer. Yeah. Caitlin's saying 150 minimum, at least with my kid. Pat Mercedes saying 100 questions per hour. Okay, these are great. These are really great. Okay, here is a drum roll. Here's your answer. 107. And for those of you who are parents of little ones, you're like, totally. And for others who haven't been around little ones for a while, you might be like, oh. So hats off to parents of young ones. And that's for 2 to 5 year olds. When they get into elementary school, now this is North American research, by the way, it goes down to 1 to 2.5 per hour, right? The research that this video was quoting, a little guy asked, uh, is there any culture or country, I can't remember which one, that doesn't have art? The teacher's response, this is true. The teacher's response was, there are no questions. This is a time for learning. Like it just hurts my heart, right? It hurts my heart. Um, okay, Caitlin saying I would say that's average. Malcolm saying I've clearly forgotten my kids' younger years. Yeah, right. And Robin saying, and at some point, questions are replaced by unprompted answers, explanations. Yeah, yeah. So, if we get better at asking questions, we're going to get way better results. So, I know that there are loads of, there's lots of uncertainty. So, I did some sort of career development type things, right? So, if you're applying for a job, this came and this is tagged. So, this is in your Deagle link if you wanted more information, right? About reviewing your resume and helping you apply for a particular job, right? Like really cool. This one here is you want to move forward in your role, and how could you do that, right? So there's the prompt there. This is from the Digital Samaritan. He's so good. Has great, 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 great content. This one here is looking at your resume and analyzing your background and helping you with your career path. Right? I know there's a lot of text there, but I thought it was kind of worth it. They're interesting prompts. You can upload your job description and give you suggestions on how can AI help you, right? Given your particular job. You can get it to look at the pros and cons of a career move. You can get it to help you with a learning plan and identify your blind spots. You can get it to act like a mentor, right? And give you weekly suggestions for readings or something to do with learning related to that. You can, oh, and then I showed you briefly that document from Alex. You can get it to be your coach. And there's a very specific way you can do that she's lined out. And I've tagged that in Digo and I've put the link in the chat. Uh, so some other things to do with prompting is we tend to use it mostly for writing. A lot of us are using it for writing and learning, some learning. But you can also use it for analysis, for planning, for decision making. And I did some reading on this. I think this is so interesting. Folks are encouraging you to create your own prompt library, right? So keep track of your prompts and refine them and keep a library of those prompts, right? Because when they start working really well, you want to make sure, and like some people are calling that like their own IP, right? This is my prompt, right? This belongs to me. So some different ways to think about that. And then I made this up, this ha ho, right? So it's not it can feel like interacting with a human, but it's not, right? So that I just made up a funny acronym for this. It's not humans asking for hazy outputs, right? But rather it's watching for the HA, which is hallucinations, right? So we really also we really want to be careful at looking at what it gives us and making sure that it's not hallucinating by always keeping your hands on, right? So not ever like taking something verbatim and sticking it into a report without reading it. Like I remember I was looking at an AI transcript of a meeting, which was pretty good, but it took someone's name that was not a typical European or North American name and called that person ostrich. Every time that person was mentioned, their name was ostrich. So, cultural barriers, all of that. Caitlin's saying I did the prompt library for my career search. So much refining. Yeah, good. You can also, and I made this for you to try another time. Feel free. It's a little worksheet. I put the link in the chat. We sometimes don't ask good enough questions, or we don't even know what question to ask. So I just made some playful roles that AI can play for you, and then you can put a prompt, and you can use the pull down menu to help you identify what role that's playing. And there's even a pirate, right? Like, really debate me. Like, don't just tell me what I want to hear. So that's kind of a fun thing. And then I talked to you about uh, something that will make you feel like going from preschool to PhD. And that's this here. So I have something called a text expander. So you do not have to have a text expander to do this, but 9.99 times out of 10, when I'm using a prompt, I use this statement. So my text expander, all I have to do is type ask me with no space in it. And when I hit enter, oops, just a second here, it spits out this, right? So I am not writing this out 500 times a day. You don't have to use a text expander if you don't want to. You can copy and paste. But this ask me, so you'd ask the large language model, you'd put your prompt in, and then after that prompt, you say, ask me any clarifying questions first, if necessary, until you're 95% sure you can complete the task successfully. That will take what comes out of chat or Copilot, etc. It just makes a massive difference. Massive, massive, massive. Does anyone use that prompt or something like that already? Are you using it? I I'm only half joking. Malcolm, not yet. If so, the first time you do it, I'm sort of half joking, but like I would love it if you would do this. When you use it, record your reaction or like take a picture of your face because I promise, like your jaw is gonna drop and you might squeal, you might, whoa, ah, like take a picture or record yourself and send it to me. Robin saying makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you're giving it the chance to ask you these really, really good questions. And oftentimes you'd be like, oh, I didn't think about that. And then I'll say, I'm not sure what the answer is to question three. Help me think that through. So it stops it from being this one and done Q&A to feeling more like a partnership. It's amazing. Okay, folks. The last one is Claude. Has anybody used Claude or Claude, depending where you are in the world? It's one of the main large language models. Moira's used it. Nice. Anybody else? Oh, it's so good. So I have Chat and Claude on my phone and on my desktop. I'll use Chat when I want pretty straightforward, like the stove knob broke on our oven, like in Canada, and I'm in France, and I'm like, I don't know what model this thing is. So I uploaded a picture and like tell me the model number and where can I buy one in Canada, and so pretty straightforward stuff. I use Claude when I want it to be, it's more like I'm working on a marketing and social media and content strategy, and it's so much fun. And it makes these cool, here, let me show you. So for example, I saw this really interesting, let me just pull it up here. Um, Moira, I don't know if you've seen this yet. So I like to hide Easter eggs, like little hidden things in the transformative trainers. Each month we have our live call. So I saw this really, let me know. Can you see a big red box on the screen? Are you seeing that? Yeah, okay. So I saw this video where someone, and I know this won't be applicable to hardly any of you, but just think of it as a way, cool ways you can use Claude. So what they did is they had like a secret message, and how you read the secret message is you put this red piece of cellophane over the message, and then you could read it. So in Claude, I said, "Here's the video. I want to do this online. Is there a way to do this?" So it wrote the code. Like, and I know this isn't anything like super fancy, but this is a page on my website that's hidden. It's for the membership, the Academy folks, and we had talked about sort of a life lenses summary. So it did this, right? Like I don't have to code anything. Like it was just so it's playful, and it has a let me just go back to our deck here. It's like Chat GPT on steroids. Like it's just incredible. Um, And a couple of things to think about if you are, and some of this applies to any LLM. Make sure you're doing a new chat every time because it names those chats. So if you're talking about stove oven knobs, and then in that same chat, you start to talk about Alexa and how to program Alexa, it's you're going to confuse yourself if you have to go back, right? So start a new chat every time. Both in chat and in Claude, there's projects, right? So you can put everything into one project. In Claude, it makes artifacts. So as long as you've got that turned on, like poof, all of a sudden there's like HTML, like there's this website and it's interactive and it's doing these cool things, or there's an infographic, or there's a chart. Like you can make style guides both for chat and for Claude. So you can say, don't ever use an M dash, do this, don't do that. And in Claude, they have two truths and a hallucination. Mara, I don't know if you found that or not. It's a really fun way to learn something. So it'll take a topic and it'll tell you two true things about it, and a hallucination. You have to guess which one is the hallucination. Uh, okay. Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. So, as we are sliding into the bottom of the hour, oh, hi, Malcolm. Nice to see you online there or on camera. I was listening to this just the other day. So it's a TED tech podcast. I put this um, in the chat. It's the second speaker that I took this from, uh, and I love this quote. Would you rather have a tool that thinks for you or a tool that makes you think? Right. So I think uh, we'll use these tools well if we use them to help us think. If we're using them as a mentor, as a coach, as a pirate, as a debater, as a planner, right? Those things really, really take it to the next level. Thanks, Malcolm. Hope to see you next month. So, with these four tools, some of them are tools or just practices. Which one are you like, oh, I want to try this one? Which one are you most called to? By the way, with Claude, there is a free version, which is very robust. It's very robust. So any of those that you were like, oh, I want to try this. I know for me, I want to get better at these custom GPTs. Alva sings, gotta go. Thank you, Alva. Thank you for coming. Okay, Claude, notebook, Claude. Nice. Okay, well, as we slide into the bottom of the hour, we've covered four different tools or sort of processes under toe, dip, and dive. So thank you so much for your participation. Please, again, share that link. I would love it right after we finish if you could share that link with two people. It's free to join, and you get access to 13 plus years of resources. If you're a UN staff and you want to count this towards your professional development, please sign the attendance sheet there. And then our next roundtable is the 21st, and it's all about change. Malcolm saying, I recommend Perplexity. Ah, yeah. which gives you access to multiple LLMs with one subscription. And LLM, once again, is large language models. Thanks, Malcolm. You will get, now I'm traveling, so I'm going to hopefully get this out by Monday, but it might take a little bit longer, but we'll see. You will get the recording, which is all time-stamped. You'll get a workbook. The PowerPoint deck arrived in your inbox 1 minute ago, so you'll already get that. And please think about, be kind to your future self. How are you going to use this learning? You can right away get access to all of the resources that I bookmarked on Digo. So that's that link again. So everything related to AI and learning. And if you're interested, don't forget April 23rd and 24th and May 20th and 21st. There, I'm giving a public speaking workshop. Oh, I'm going to share the best AI tool in PowerPoint. I can almost like 99.75% guarantee you've never heard of this AI tool in PowerPoint. And it's not to do with images. So that's how I put in the chat how you get more information. Love, 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 always love, love, love your feedback. So please, there's a link there to get your feedback. You'll be entered to win my Ban Boring online meeting course. I always pull someone's name out of it. Now, to be honest, we've had to move that course onto another platform, which was it took forever. And I haven't had any feedback recently, but the course is up. So if you fill in the feedback, you get a chance to win. And then finally, if you want to contact me for more information, if there's a custom workshop that you are interested in chatting with me about, please feel free to reach out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Maura. Stay well, stay safe, stay creative, stay learning, stay you, and know that you and your hard work are appreciated and are needed more than ever. And I love that you have a learning mindset. So thank you, everyone. Take good care, and hopefully we'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.